Recognized now, Senator Budd.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning, gentlemen. Secretary Kendall, we've spoken at length regarding the Air Force budget, my concerns with the Air Force planned divestment of fighter aircraft, including the F-15E Strike Eagles from Seymour Johnson, my state of North Carolina. So I'm deeply concerned about what a growing fighter capacity gap could mean for the fight in the Indo-Pacific. But also, as was made clear over this past weekend, our fighter aircraft are also playing major roles in other regions, including U.S. Central Command, every single day. So I'd like to turn to you, General Alvin, for just a moment. Again, thank you for being here. The committee heard from the commander of Indo-PACOM this year, and just recently, in fact, that there is a role for Strike Eagles in scenarios in the Indo-Pacific. And the head of NORTHCOM also told this committee the F-15E is in many ways unmatched air to ground, and in many ways it's unmatched air to air. It also has a phenomenal radar that can pick out low and slow moving, and it's got a great radar cross section, which is useful for drones and other threats like cruise missiles. It was the 335th Squadron at North Carolina's Seymour Johnson Air Force Base that proved that out on Sunday when they helped shoot down dozens of drones fired at Israel from Iran. The Supreme Allied Commander of Europe told the House Armed Services Committee last week that Strike Eagles, and I quote, figure heavily in his plans at EUCOM. He also said it would be very important not to have a gap between the retirement of one aircraft and the arrival of the next. Most recently, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs agreed with these assessments of the F-15E and asserted that it is indeed a very capable aircraft. General Alvin, do you agree with these officers' assessments of the capability and importance of the Strike Eagles in scenarios across the combatant commands, yes or no, sir?
I absolutely do agree with those assessments. I would offer that those assessments are part of, first of all, I want to echo what you said about what happened over the weekend. Brilliant crews, skill and courage. That skill and courage in those aircraft also had a connection with a command and control system. Brilliant stuff done in the AOC, an air battle management system. And all of those systems are what made it successful. And so the platform is very capable, but it has to have the systems around it in order to be effective and combat effective. And so going into the future, we would imagine that that platform is going to have to fire weapons longer range. That range has to have target custody for that munition to be able to track the target all the way. It needs to be able to defend itself in that theater. It needs to be able to have basing from which it can move around. All those things are what is going to make it successful against the pacing challenge. So that capability in and of itself is very impressive. But when you're in a fiscally constrained environment, we try and manage how many of those, and those with respect to other platforms, what is the mix of the entire system beyond just the weapon and the aircraft to make it effective against in the highly contested environment against the PRC. But it's a highly capable aircraft.
Thank you, General. And I'll just note that many of those, including those at Seymour Johnson, have been upgraded or soon to be upgraded or can be upgraded to be useful into the 2030s or 2040s. Secretary Kendall, turning to you, sir, where is the fighter roadmap required by the NDAA? We've heard, Secretary, that it's sitting with you.
It's in final review. Should be over here shortly, Senator.
We look forward to receiving that report. When should we expect the congressionally required report on divestment of F-15 aircraft, and will it be compliant with Section 131 of last year's NDAA?
Right now, our plans are to take out additional F-15Es in the out years, but of course, we will be complying with the current law, and our 25 budget is consistent with that.
Hopefully in compliance with 131 of last year's NDAA. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I hope the committee takes note of the testimony it's received this year and seriously considers prohibiting divestment of the F-15 Strike Eagles, particularly 26 F-15 Strike Eagles next year. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.